Hi everyone, my name's Leighann. I'm a lecturer in microbiology in the School of Infection Immunity, and I'm joined today by my colleague Fiona Stubbs, who is the MVLS Careers and Employability Manager here at the University of Glasgow. So very firstly, thank you very much for this opportunity, allowing us to speak today about our plans and what we've disseminated into the life sciences curriculum around equipping students to take ownership of their own career journey and really using LinkedIn as a platform to do this.
So firstly, it's a bit of a backdrop. Over the last 2 years, we've developed an employability framework. What we've done is integrate employability into curriculum design. And the framework, as you can see on the slide, is a cyclical model with sort of 5 stages. You can enter at any stage, but sort of typically you'd look at identifying the skills that are inherent within the curriculum surface for the students. Think of ways in which you can enhance those skills through various types of experiential learning, and then assess it and then review it with the data sources that we've got available to us. What this does is help students develop skills and make them explicit, and allowing them to use them in the future as in a transferable, or as we like to call it, future skills. What this approach ensures that all students, whether it's regardless of location, situation, or the program that they're studying, have opportunities to enhance these skills and their future employability, because it's what they're doing in class rather than it being as an add-on session, as we know from the past that if it's an add-on, students tend to opt out of these. So this slide is, we're not here today to sort of argue the point of social media being a sort of good or a bad thing for students. But what we do know is that online interactions have expanded in recent years, with social networking being a part of most people's lives, with over 5 billion people using it worldwide. It's likely that our students have at least one account listed in the top 10 figures, and are confident in using this to share personal information, updates in their life, or using it to message others. However, there's one platform on the list that students are more wary of, and that's LinkedIn, because it's sort of flagged as being a professionally focused platform. However, in a highly competitive job market, the development of a professional online presence has become an important, if not a vital, aspect in most sectors. But we're finding that students lack the communication skills in networking and also contributing to professional networks.
So what did we do in order to try and counteract this? So for us, we set out to create a workshop, which is broken down into 5 different stages, which ultimately helps to support our students engaging with this LinkedIn platform and helping them to navigate their own journey. And ultimately, we want to understand, by doing this, are we moving these mindsets away from thinking about LinkedIn as just a job board and actually realising there's so much more it can be used for. So the first step in this programme was to create these private LinkedIn groups, which are only accessible to the students that are currently enrolled on our programmes, our former students, and also the staff on it. So we get many requests for people that want to join these, that have not completed the University of Glasgow programme, but these are declined. That's one of the very strict rules we have about these groups. And ultimately, this is to create a safe space for our students to interact with their peers and alumni. Then the next step in this process was to create an actual member database, so capturing who do we have on these groups, when did they graduate, what their current job role is, did they require further education in order to get into it. And then reach out to those alumni to see if they'd be willing to take part in this workshop. And really that involves them being interviewed by our current students. The third step is the actual workshop itself being delivered in our class and in our timetable sessions. So we start off by giving the students a reminder of how to use LinkedIn. Now this is a reminder at level 3, because in level 2 they have a session about how to set up their own profiles. We also then go into some of the etiquette of using the platform, because we found through feedback this is where students really struggle to engage with it, because they don't know what they can and they can't do, who they can and they can't talk to. And also explore the various features that are offered by this platform. We then in this session get the students to access our alumni database, and they in pairs self-assign themselves to one of our alumni who they're signing up to interview them. So this can be an interview in person or online, and it lasts for about 30 minutes and is really an opportunity for students to explore how that alumni got in their position, top tips, and thinking back to when they were in their third year of their programme, what they wish they'd done at that time. And now this is not from a selfish point of view that they just learn that and keep that information to themselves. They then come back and we have a presentation day, which is a really fun day to hear about around about 20 different career pathways our students can go into with their University of Glasgow degree. So everyone in the class benefits from all of these conversations. So was this worthwhile? Did it work out the way we thought? So before students done this workshop, we wanted to find out if they were currently engaging with LinkedIn. And what we can see is that the majority of students, they have their profile, which is unsurprising because they get set this up in level 2. But it was only about 11% of these that were saying they were active on this. And when we asked them, what are the benefits you feel are offered by LinkedIn? Overwhelmingly, we're seeing that it's really just a job site, finding jobs, and also to network with people. However, this changed after our LinkedIn to get in session, and what we can see, students are no longer seeing the main benefit as being a job searching site. This went down. The appreciation of how it's used to network went up, but also things like gathering information, creating their own portfolio was also increased. And this is really based on the conversations they had with our alumni, where they were pointing out things like recruiters are on LinkedIn, they can see your skills, you need to get your portfolio built up, and also they can reach out to you directly about jobs. So this is really nice to see this shift and change. But what we're really interested in is how the confidence changed in our students in using this platform. So maybe not surprisingly, confidence is quite low in using LinkedIn as a networking tool, but after our workshop, we can see this increased hugely, up by 62%. And there was very few students remaining in the class that still did not feel confident in using this for networking. But this didn't really explain what they felt confident in. So again, in the blue bars is pre our workshop. And what we're seeing is mostly they were happy to like and share other people's posts, not so much commenting on posts, putting their own thoughts out there, or even sharing their posts. But again, after our workshop, this increased and we're seeing more students having the confidence of putting their own valid points out there and creating that professional profile, which was really nice to see. Now, a side point of this was looking at the career diversity that is open to our students. And what we wanted to understand was after you've heard about all these variety and employment routes you can go in with your degree, has it actually changed your mind? And what we found, that was a fifth of students said yes, it has. And a little bit more also saying that we're actually unsure now of their next move. Now, this was definitely not an aim of this project to make students change their minds, but I think it highlights the importance of this tool and just exposing our students to the range of opportunities that are available to them. In life sciences, students are very fixed on, oh, I need to do a master's or a PhD and stay within academia. But what we're seeing is if we just expose our students to the range of opportunities, this could actually lead them down a more fruitful path that's suitable for them. And when we think about the types of jobs, so we asked students, what can you go into with your degree after we completed these interviews in our presentation day? Academia was much smaller in this list, and we started to see things like civil service, banking, sales, all coming up and being mentioned, which weren't highlighted before. So again, showing the diversity that our students are now exposed to. And ultimately, we wanted to see, did this work? Will it change their usage? Because we know coming into this level 3 class, only 11% were active in LinkedIn. And now just under 90% of students saying, yes, we're going to use LinkedIn more going forward, which was great to see. So ultimately, do we think this is a useful method for embedding employability into curriculum? We'd like to say yes. By offering these closed group formats via LinkedIn, it does offer students a trusted space to network with professionals in their field that have been in exactly the same position as they have because they've all went through the same degree. And it's a bit less scary reaching out to alumni than it is people that you don't know on LinkedIn. We also feel like having this LinkedIn embedded into the programme, the information we get from it, we've seen where our alumni's career journeys have taken them, is far more rich than what we can actually teach as academics within the course. So our alumni can give more insight to the real life job market than we could. It's obviously a free, inclusive, and accessible platform, so it doesn't rely on somebody knowing somebody within the area to get insight into that particular field. So ultimately, it's creating a level playing field for everyone involved. It's a highly adaptable program, so it's not just within microbiology or life sciences, it can be embedded across any part of the curriculum. And what's really nice is these interviews have led to informal mentorship, so our students can then follow up later, sometimes years down the line, and still have those connections with it. So ultimately, this is a simple but highly adaptable way to embed employability into our curriculum. So we just want to stop there and thank you very much, particularly to our two student partners that were helped develop this resource for us, and it's created a pack for us to now share out to others who want to embed this workshop into their own degree. And we're more than happy to help support you in that process. So please reach out to myself and Fiona if you would like any support in doing this, and happy to take any questions.